Hey, Scott Jordan here from the Bullen Companies, and today we're going to talk about using social media to build your business network as well as research potential customers. And we'll cover that in a little bit more detail in future videos. But let's talk about getting connections and then what do you do with those connections after the fact. We're going to specifically talk about exporting the connections out. So we're assuming you're already a member of LinkedIn. If you're not, you have to be to utilize this, obviously. And you should get all of your employees in your company to join LinkedIn because you can utilize those connections to make more connections as well. So let's start up. If this is my homepage, scroll down. I have a total of 1,761 connections. I got a lot of those when I was president of the ISSA, and that allows me to network with 11,932,472,000 people. So that's an awful lot of potential connections. And we'll talk later on in other videos about how you can direct connect with people that you're connected with or secondarily connected out into this 11 million pool that you've got here. So I've got a lot of connections, but how do you get more connections? So the easy way is if you go up to the top here, you see people you may know. This is kind of a short list of 3 or 4 it's going to give you, but I like to deal with a whole page of them. So all we do is click over here. Again, this is your upper right, assuming your layout is set up the same way as mine. Click See More. And that's going to give us a whole list of possible people we can connect with. Now, these are based on people I'm already connected with that they know. Or people in some of the groups that I belong to. I belong to the ISSA group as well as a couple others. And we'll get into that as well because that's another great way of connecting with people and kind of building your business savvy out there with different groups and commenting and stuff like that, but that'll be a later show. So we want to connect with 1 or 2 of these people. I know this guy here, so we'll send out a connection and boom, it's as easy as that, and it gets replaced by another person. You can do this all day long, build your connections really fast. Again, the more you've got, the better. I usually spend maybe an hour or so a week going through here and connecting with new people that I'm familiar with or not familiar with that I'd like to know. It's up to them to accept the invitation. Just because you send a connection invitation out doesn't mean they're automatically going to do it. So that's how you build your connections. Again, 1,760 I've got already. So then what do you do with those afterwards? Well, the next thing is you want to go up here. We've got these choices: keep in touch, add connections, find alumni. We're just going to click on connections. That's going to bring you to a page that has recent information about the people that you're connected with. Up here, people that got new jobs and post that automatically. But we want to figure out how can we get all those connections I've got in there. I've got 1,760 connections in there, and you can't email that many out of LinkedIn. There's a limitation as to how many people you can email to directly from LinkedIn. So I want to export all my connections and then bring them into Constant Contact or MailChimp or something like that. So the hidden way, without doing the research, is you go up to this tool here, and it gives me the option, again, my 1,760, export LinkedIn connections right there. And that'll export it in the format of a file that you're able to you can easily import into MailChimp, Constant Contact, or some of those other ones. Another way of syncing up or getting connections is to upload your database that you've got, your Gmail, whatever it happens to be. I don't particularly like doing this because I have a lot of personal connections in my email database, and it just ends up messing the whole thing up when you have a mix like that. If your databases are set up separately, maybe that'll work for you. I just never like doing it that way. So we've exported those connections, and then the next thing we'll talk about at a future show is how do we do an email campaign. The important thing is do not abuse the use of this list. Your connections that you've got on LinkedIn aren't expecting to be inundated with emails 2 or 3, 4 times a week. I'm very selective about how I use mine. I use it for job postings at Bullen because, again, most of my connections are within the industry, or we use it for announcing stuff that we're going to be showing at the ISSA show or at various trade shows or new products we've introduced. but we use it very infrequently. So obviously the people that get these emails, they have the option of unsubscribing, but you don't want to get a bad name on LinkedIn that you've kind of downloaded your database of connections and you're using it for a bunch of stuff like trying to sell them over and over and over again. So that's the basics. Stay tuned for future shows. We'll be teaching you other ways of using social media in the future to expand your business, make connection with prospects, and get yourself known out in the industry. Thanks a lot.